What? Why? What is so funny to you?
We're live. Welcome, everybody, back to our weekly show. Hi, Mom. Mom's first in chat.
What happened now?
I meant to make a banner. Here we go. Boom. All right, guys. We got some pack rips tonight already. If you guys want to purchase yours, they're on the website. Show the website.
Show the website?
.com.
All right, I'm going to show the website.
Quite the presentation for you guys tonight. We're gonna get into some fights tonight. Boom. Okay, this is where you guys can get packs to rip for tonight. Lots of stuff. You can choose Wotc, or you can choose EX to rip tonight. And then everything in between. You're muted.
There's no EX available.
Oh, what the hell?
We ripped it all.
We did?
I think so.
No.
Okay, no, there's one Holland Phantoms pack.
Phew.
Then there's also some boxes. That.
Stunning website. Unbelievable.
All right, so that's there. Then you could also check out our stuff we have for sale on eBay.
Yeah, much more, lots of great cards.
Which, this one?
Ooh, is that the PSA 8 or 9? What is that?
Look at this.
I can't see, to be honest.
Jay-Z. Oh, it didn't click in. It opens in a new window. I see. Well, a lot of different stuff for anyone who likes cards.
That was funny. I just got the buy, sell, burn with the Jay-Z, Kim Kardashian, and Justin Bieber card. Which stock's empty? Holland?
Alright, so that's that. Am I still sharing my screen?
No, you're not.
We have a big debate tonight. I want to talk about something because I've been just, the Crown Zenith set came out and it just I feel like I hit a lull, and then I made this presentation. I feel like I don't hit a lull, but I'm just I've seen it enough, and I just we've seen it ripped in V-Star Universe, and we've been ripped again, and it's the Japanese being so prominent now, it's ruining these sets for me. I need to time off from it, and I just feel like there's just so many. It's everywhere right now, and it's not interesting to me.
Did you open any?
Nope. I didn't. They had some at Target.
I didn't find any in the wild, but I would like to open some, but I agree. What's in it. We all know the chase, and we're disappointed by it since it was in the collector's box. And
I mean, the chase is the gold cards, right? They're sick. They're really hard to pull.
And the Pikachu, of course, but yeah.
That's a common, though. It's the puller, it's one in every couple packs.
That's crazy.
It's just,
It's sad.
What's that?
It is sad.
Is that your... I mean, it happens, but it's just I've seen it so many times, not fun to open.
Okay, fair enough.
But maybe it'll be fun if I actually open it.
I think it'd be fun if you actually open it, because I think I'd buy it if I saw it and open it.
Well, it's everywhere. They're giving it away at Barnes & Noble, Walmart.
I can't find it.
Did you go to Walmart?
I haven't been to Walmart, actually.
Where'd you
Just
look?
expecting not to see it there, because there's nothing ever at Walmart. Well, my Walmart's all barred off, so if you want to look at cards, you have to get someone and open up the chains and it's a whole thing. And I also have to take pictures of things and then zoom in on them because I can't see the product that far. So I steer clear sometimes from the Walmart restock, whatever the heck that is. But yeah, I agree though. The gold cards are really fun to pull.
They're fire. It's one in 800 packs or something.
Yeah, I watched, we were just on FaceTime with some friends. I think Jordan just randomly pulled it. And we were like, holy crap, just randomly pulled the gold card. So that's cool. Well, that's sick, Julian. Yeah, people are getting some good pulls. I think when you get like those, when you pull it yourself, it's just different. But watching it, I get it. A little dry. But yeah. So you're gonna say something?
Oh, I want to see if we think this is accurate.
Okay. I put up another debate on the IG story too.
Can you see this? So these are the pull rates. So they opened 615 packs, and these are the pull rates.
I can't. Oh, to be honest, can't see, but you can read them out loud.
You can't see that?
No.
It's huge on the screen.
Maybe it's me.
You just said you couldn't see the cards at Walmart. You had to take a picture of them and zoom in.
Oh, yeah. I'm better now. Ooh, if I click show chat, what happens?
So they pulled 2 of the Friends cards in 615 packs.
Those are fire.
They pulled 3.
Wow.
Choose.
Does that say 50%?
Where? No, it's 0.5.
5. Okay. Oh.
These are all pretty similar. They didn't pull a single one of those little puppies.
How can it be?
Oh. So yeah, so I mean, these are going to be just very tough to pull.
0%. That's crazy.
So, I don't know. When I watch people on TikTok, they open it in the first pack every time, but I guess that's why they posted the video.
Exactly. Yeah, is it live or did they post it?
I don't know.
But post hits. Imagine you post. The worst is when you watch something and they post and you get absolutely nothing. Can't post that. But I opened a bunch of the. What the hell? Why can't we remember the name?
You start Universe. I remembered it.
Which was a lot of fun, but again, I'll definitely open it if I see some in the store.
You gotta look, and I'm worried about your eyesight. You've now mentioned twice you couldn't see the screen, and the third time you couldn't see the cards at Walmart. So
I also have LASIK eyes.
Well, I think you might have gotten something.
No, I can see so good.
So we have a big, long presentation. We're going to debate. Not debate. We're going to fight about.
I'm excited for this one.
I'm not even that. I don't know where I come down on it. I think there's a lot. We're going to talk about Wotc Era, Pokemon, and EX Era. We're going to get into that.
If you had and made me choose, I don't think I could. And I'll tell you why when we go through it.
I could have done endless examples of like comparing all the cards. It would have, but you know, maybe that's fun. We could do it this or that with like cards, but
yeah. And then I'll see where the poll's at on Instagram. I also put up a debate on Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A is disgusting, and I'm down to fight anyone in the chat about it. So,
see, Chick-fil-A is something that's become overrated. It's like a very solid place to go, but it's become overrated. I don't know what to say. It's like consistent, like you know exactly what you're gonna get. It's pretty good, but at some point it went from pretty good to the best place in America, and I don't know how that happened.
It's overhyped. Listen, here's what happened. I wanted a sausage, egg, and cheese. You know, if you go to McDonald's,
why would you go to Chick-fil-A for a sausage, egg, and cheese?
Why would I go to
McDonald's
for sausage, egg, and cheese? And
McDonald's isn't a chicken store.
McDonald's is a burger meat store.
Yeah, and sausage is beef.
No, dummy. Sausage is pork.
Irregardless, which is not even a word.
That's not even a word. Why would you say it?
McDonald's is known for its versatility. They have a fish sandwich on the menu. Chick-fil-A has chicken in the menu. It's in the menu.
If you like chicken fillet, I don't know. You're wrong. You go to Subway, what do you get at Subway? Don't you get the chicken teriyaki? They're not known for their chicken teriyaki. They're known for their Italian BMTs, but you still like it. I should be able to go to a restaurant that churns out these foods, churns them, and it should be good. And again, I told this to Andy too. I'm not mad about the sausage. It's not the sausage.
You got breakfast at Chick-fil-A. It's not known for that. That's like going to a seafood restaurant and getting steak, or like there are people out there who go to a steakhouse and get the chicken. That's just not what you do. When you go to a restaurant, get what they're known for. That's the number one rule in
But it was
life.
10 a.m.
So go somewhere else. There's a place you can go. You have to go to Chick-fil-A at 10 a.m.
Can I tell you though, it wasn't the sausage. It's not the heat that gets you, it's the humidity. It wasn't the sausage. It was the dusty, crusty, musty biscuit bun that tasted like a rusty toenail from the 1950s. That's what it tasted like. And I didn't choose that. I didn't choose that. The lady said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're out of English muffins." And I said, "Okay, well, I'm here already, and I'm going to get it."
Man, this is a Pokemon podcast.
And then I got the biscuit, and I bit into it a couple times, and I was like, "Nope." Choked. Not good. And if you guys like it, that's fine. That's my rant.
All right. Well, do you want to open the packs, the orders that we have now before we get into the debate?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Why don't you open up with some packs and?
All right, Alex D, I got your 10 Shining Fates packs for you all here. Yeah, see, thank you. Can't go wrong with sausage, egg, McMuffin. From McDonald's, they're 10 out of 10.
McDonald's breakfast, you know it's good. They can, whatever they slap out of McDonald's, I've never had a bad order at McDonald's, except sometimes I don't get enough. But their breakfast is amazing. That it's unfortunate that it ends at 10:30.
All right, Alex D, here we go. I don't know.
I see something back there.
I'm going to stick to Quick Check and Wawa because they always do good. Oh, let's go on the first pack. I love Shiny Fates. Always does me good. Rillaboom VMAX.
What's the next card?
I'm showing you, little Chick-fil-A. Holy crap, let's go.
Nice first pack.
Beautiful first pack. Whew. What else is a good breakfast?
You can make breakfast at home.
Yeah, I do. I usually don't eat breakfast, but when I do, I feel like Quick Check and Wawa are so good.
Diners?
Or diners are great. And McDonald's, stop.
Decidueye reverse.
Hello? Right?
Hollow. It's a hollow.
Sure as heck is. Yeah, if you guys don't have Wawa where you're from, I'm so sorry. Wawa. Yeah, so you're not from there. You're from here, so you used to have it. I guess I don't. Where is everyone from, by the way? Where you guys are from in chat. Maybe Deanlings are fire. I make those sometimes. Oh,
yeah, non-hollow.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat. I wonder how you do that.
What's your gas station best sandwich? Mine would definitely be Wawa and Quick Check are so good.
Those I wouldn't qualify as gas station sandwiches. It's just such a step up of 7-Eleven or mobile.
PA has what, Sheets? Florida has Wawa.
Sheets is good. More Pico.
Oh, Pokey Kid. Okay, Alex. Let's go. Dude, where's your
the sound.
Fire! Oh my god, 2 amazing hits.
I gotta do it on my phone. You don't have you gotta get a soundboard.
Yeah, the 7-Eleven taquitos. I feel like I did get those before, back in the day. They're nauseating, but I think they were good at the time. Alright, Shiny Fates, let's go. Another hollow. Come on.
Who's ready to talk about cards?
Yeah, guys, get ready for your debate because I really don't know where I stand on this one.
It might not even be a debate. It's like a
I think it's a
thought exercise. I'm sure you'll have an opinion.
I just don't have a strong opinion either way. I have a strong opinion, but not either way. Well, we started watching Last of Us.
I liked the first episode, but I liked the game. Wasn't the best show I've ever seen, but it's not as good as The Walking Dead. Oh, Baby Shiny.
Hey, Baby Shiny. It reminds me of Walking Dead. I'm like waiting for Rick Grimes to pop out at any moment.
So I started rewatching The Walking Dead because of that show, and I'm like, I love The Walking Dead.
How do you, like, from season 1, episode 1?
Yeah,
That's
like Shane and Rick and
that's next level mental stuff. Oh,
Cramorant.
These cards feel velvety.
All right, 2 full arts, a V, and a baby shiny. Not bad so far.
All right, last 2 packs. What's Paw Patrol?
That's a fun show for kids. Ethan's kid watches that.
Really?
Every kid in America watches Paw Patrol. Oh, the
my
Lapras full art.
Where's VMAX? What the frick? Okay, I gotta get those showcase ready. Hold on. And 1 more pack. Wow, where did these come from? That's why I got some nice 10-pack bundles. That way, like, you know, get some nice, good chances here.
Luxray reverse into the Indeedee Hollow. Wow,
Wow, okay.
that was a solid run there. That was a solid run.
That was amazing. Even popping with these hits real quick.
Solid run.
That was awesome. If you guys want to get some packs for yourself, we'll rip them after the presentation.
You ready to go?
Yeah, let me just show my hits after I sleeve them real quick and get ready, guys, because you guys are going to have to choose.
Don't you have a PSA return as well?
I do. Should we open it during the stream?
I don't know.
I don't
We'll
even
see
know.
what happens.
All right, here are the best hits. Woo! Can you see them?
I mean, yeah, I can, but I don't. Can you?
No. Awesome.
That was cool. That was good. Good stuff.
Those were epic. I'm happy. All right. Now we're going to take it away with the Don Diego Trading production. Let's go.
What do you think of this home screen? Our first slide.
Stunning.
All right. So the premise here is we're going to look at some data around WotC as a whole, like an era. So, and EX as an era. So what is that? Just like quickly frame what we're thinking, right? WotC. So the sets, like, at least to think about, and I'm not talking about like the promo cards and Southern Islands, but base set through Skyridge. So Jungle Fossil base set 2, the worst Pokemon set ever made. Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge, Neo Gen, Neo Discovery, Neo Rev, Neo Destiny, Legendary Collection, Expedition Aquapolis, and Skyridge. So those were the WotC sets. So the key collectability, and everybody knows this, but just for S and G's, shits and giggles. First edition Hollows, we had the introduction of Shining Pokemon, the introduction of Crystal Pokemon, and the Legendary Collection Reverse Hollows. Anything on that?
Sorry, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I was sleeving things.
Are there any? Am I missing anything? But these are the big buckets, right? That people are chasing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, when I said that, he just turns it up.
What?
Andy said turn background music down just a smidge.
All right. EX Era, what are we talking about here?
Heck yeah.
Ruby Sapphire is your first set. Sandstorm Dragon, Magma, Hidden Legends, Fire Red, TRR, Deoxys, Emerald, Unseen Forces, Delta Species, Legend Maker, Holland Phantoms, Crystal Guardians, Dragon Frontiers, and Power Keepers. So in terms of the cards that kind of stood out from this generation, of course, Gold Stars were introduced in Team Rocket Returns. Not all EX sets have Gold Stars. A good portion do. EX Hollows were introduced here, that amazing border. So in Ruby Sapphire, these are actually falling about 1 in 7 packs. That pull rate became tougher, but not that much tougher, to about 1 in 11 packs as you got later, and then it kind of dropped down and came back. So you're pulling like 5 a box in boosters. And of course, the reverse hollows, which were changed quite a bit during the EX era. Look at this. Look at this correction. Be beautiful. Well, It's pretty beautiful. But the Team Rocket Returns also introduced the stamped reverses, introduced gold stars. So I Team Rocket Returns is like a pretty iconic set. Anything else you think of when you think of the EX era?
I think that's the first that comes to mind, and just those stunningly beautiful borders on the EX cards. I don't know, it just feels like very major when you get that hit. Like we pulled the EX. Did we pull Mr. Mime?
Yeah.
We pulled the EX Mr. Mime, and I know it's not like the greatest EX card in the world, but like it feels so good to pull them. They're so sick.
And of course the gold stars.
And of course. But I actually like, here's another perhaps debate. Stamped reverses over the hollows. I like the stamped reverses better, and I think most people would agree with that.
Over basic hollows, or just like any?
The same, like the in the set, like a hollow in the set. Like I'd prefer the stamped reverse, to be honest.
I think on certain cards I would. I don't know if I agree completely. I think it adds a lot of value to opening the cards, because even if you get a pack that's light or doesn't have one of like a gold star or hollow or anything, you're going to get a reverse in every pack, especially when you're opening the TRRs and the Holland Phantoms.
What stands out is that hollow pattern, the reverse hollow pattern, is so sick.
Yeah.
Very special.
You gotta, I can't see the chat, so you gotta tell me if there's questions or I should stop.
Oh, I can't comment.
You gotta drive. You're the driving.
But someone's talking to you.
Well, tell me what they say.
Andy said, turn the background music up a smidge.
I turned it off.
Just kidding. All right, continue.
All right, so this is where you can start to disagree or agree, but pros of the WotC era, right? It's the most nostalgic era of Pokemon. I put a question mark. I guess you could debate that. It's the most nostalgic for me because I started there. I started playing those games. I certainly don't remember the EX era when it was in stores. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I bought those packs when they were in stores. I like most people, stopped opening Pokemon cards after about Gym Challenge.
We were just saying, where the heck were we in 2012? What were we doing?
2004.
Sorry, 2004. Where were we in 2004?
I was in college, so I was not opening a ton of Pokemon.
I was 12.
Well, then you should have been opening it.
I should have been buying that stuff up like crazy.
So do you agree that WotC like will be nostalgic for most people? Like, even if they didn't, like younger people, like,
yes,
like, yeah,
way over EX or anything like that.
Even if they started playing Pokemon during a different generation?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so it also has the iconic first edition cards. I think even if you don't collect Pokemon cards, you've heard of first edition. People know the word. If you say first edition, people who collect sports cards have heard it. First edition. Plenty of other first appearance of Pokemon, first shinings, first crystals, and production really scaled down from Neo into the e-reader cards when people stopped collecting Pokemon. You can kind of just see it. We'll show some of the data before, but that is a lot of opportunity when you have the bloated first few sets of the WotC era. And we'll get into the next slide here. The supply is astronomical, and I think that's the biggest con. Like, most WotC cards are worthless. Most cards you have in your binder are worthless. There are so many unlimited hollows in medium play and worse condition. The price on those things is not, they're a couple bucks, right? And I think that's where a lot of misalignment is in people who look at collections and what the reality of those collections are. These cards are not rare. They're not rare. First edition cards are not really rare. They're condition rare. It's hard to find them in good condition. And then you have to be comfortable with that being the way you collect these things. And I think that's the way it works in vintage sports cards. Vintage sports cards are not necessarily rare. There's a lot of Joe DiMaggio's like rookie card and his Ted Williams and his rookie card, but there's not a lot in good condition. And that's where you see the premium spike. So you have to understand that the cards demand premium value through condition, not rarity. No set card in Pokemon is rare. No, you just accept that off the bat. There's a lot of them. And if they're jungle cards or rocket, there's more than you could shake a stick at. There's hundreds of thousands of probably of each card if you combine unlimited and first edition. So I'll pause there. I'm going to see if I can read the chat. But do you say, well, do you agree with that? Because this is a negative. Or
yeah. I think it was maybe slightly harsh, but also true to most of that degree. Like, I don't know if I'd say they're like worthless, but sure, yeah, it definitely 100% is condition dependent. I
Yeah,
agree. I
I don't
essentially,
mean to say that they're like worthless in like the grand scheme of things. They might have value, but they're not. Just because you have, let's say, a Blastoise Hollow, it doesn't mean it's worth. You're not going to retire
yeah,
off it. Like I think people find stuff. You have to accept that the supply is kind of equivalent to what you see out there now with the tons of the Sword and Shield, like certain sets, like
mhm,
Hidden Fates and things like that. They printed this to the point where they were had like 6 printers going. There's there's probably still hundreds and thousands of boxes of Jungle and Fossil that haven't been opened.
yeah. What about errors and variants?
So yeah, I mean that's going to happen across like it happens in Magic, it happens in sports, it happens in Pokemon. I think it's a specific collector chases those down. It's some like for me, it's a niche thing that I don't want to like have. My opinion is gonna be I don't care at all and would never pay a premium for those cards. But there are tons of people who do. Um, so is this is a good question? The beginning of half of WotC. Yeah, I think the last slide, and we actually have the data in the back, is the production scale down. So like once you hit, you can't lump it together, right? It's like you have your sets of, and I'm gonna go back base set through gym challenge, right, is like you're kind of going up on this huge production scale like rocket. There's just so much rocket, and then you start to kind of go down once you hit the neo sets. Again, you have to remember those were first ed and unlimited, so there is quite a supply if you add them both together. But once you hit Aquapolis and Skyridge, we're looking at really small availability, and you could see like just common sense, like look at the box prices. There's not a warehouse, and maybe I'll be stupid for saying this, there's not a warehouse with 10,000 Aquapolis boxes. Do I believe there's 10,000 jungle boxes? Yes.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Every
Everyone
card
has
show,
little pieces of them. Like everyone has them still.
they command a price. And I want to talk about this last point in the cons before we get to EX. Did the value of some of these cards peak during the COVID Logan Paul boom once he opened that box? Are we going to see the $30,000 jungle first ed boxes again? I don't know the answer to this question, but I think you have to ask it.
I think eventually, yes. But anytime soon, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, on a long enough timeline, if people are still collecting Pokemon, probably. But it's gonna. I think we're a long ways off.
I think it's like a 20-year or more thing. Is that crazy? 20-year or more? Is that too long?
That's a good bet. Will they reach their peak in the next 20 years?
Also,
Like
I'm thinking like
specifically Fossil and Rocket.
yeah, maybe a 20-year type thing. That's a long time.
A lot can happen in 20 years. We could have another rush
Yeah,
of people opening cards. Who knows?
you can get
I
eaten by
mean,
zombies.
yeah, they'll run out though. I think Rip and Chips will get through. I thought that too. There's endless supply. There's so
There's
many.
so much. Every
There's more rocket boxes than freaking team up boxes. I don't know if that's the case. That was just a
yeah, that's
go ahead.
like everyone's saying like people are breaking it all the time. Like people are breaking it more than ever, that's for sure. But there is just so much of it still. Like how can we be breaking that much? And it's not like we know the number. Oh, there's this many boxes left. Like we don't know how many boxes are left. But there seems
Exactly.
to be enough to keep breaking them for fun, breaking them on streams and whatever, and there's still more. Like a
I
lot
think
more.
yeah, I think the common sense thing is like there's more people breaking than ever. There's got to be dwindling supply, which is probably accurate, but I think the miscalculation is that we miscalculated as a group, everyone in this hobby, how many boxes there really were of the first few sets.
Yeah.
I think it's still miscalculated how many boxes there are of the first sets, and I think most people, and this is where if you would calculate it right, you would have made a lot of money. Is that most people miscalculated the supply of EX era boxes, and those kind of boxes which have seen and held their price highs, right?
Like you're saying,
So
they thought that there were more than there actually were.
it is not difficult, and maybe it will become difficult to find WotC boxes, but it's not. I mean, sure, you're still paying, like, they're not cheap, but they're not hard to find, I guess is what I'm.
Yeah, they're at like at least every show I go to, I see a jungle or a fossil box still. Which is more to be said than if I see a dragon box, or I've never seen a Team Rocket Returns box. I don't think.
Yeah, and it's not something somebody has multiples of in their closet. Like, we went to a small comic book store in New Hampshire, and the guy had a case of Fossil.
Yeah, exactly.
There is so much you cannot imagine. I'd love to do a survey if we were real.
Yeah.
How many boxes do we think of Fossil? I would guess that there's more than 10,000 boxes left unopened.
I would agree. I was going to say more than that. I would truly, truly love to know.
We will see, I guess. At the end
We're
of the day.
Freaking ripping them on live streams. Unbelievable.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about EX, right? And then we have some more stuff. So lower supply than most eras. Sealed box prices are astronomical for the most part. They're legitimately scarce. It's scary to see the price too. Like, if you wanted to go source like 5 Deoxys boxes, it's not going to be easy, and you're also going to have to pay a premium. There's just, like, it's self-evident in the prices and the cards and the pop counts. You can look at. You have the iconic gold stars. You could argue that it's the most collectible Pokemon chase. I still think it's behind the first edition holos that people know more about. EX holos are strong, but they're certainly not the first thing people think about when they come to Pokemon. You have the debut of Gen 3 and on here. And you have the stamped reverse hose. Also, that should say holos. But those are the pros for this era. Anything you disagree with or want to debate on that?
No, I think you're valid.
It has an autocorrect or something when I write on these slides.
Yeah, what's up with some of these words?
EX cons, X cons. The nostalgia doesn't pop as strong as WotC Era, and I put a question mark. Does that matter? Because once you're in the hobby, you learn about more things, but I still think you have to be exposed to this to, like, learn about it.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement, like Mike and someone else said it too, like, it's the nostalgia that really does bring you to, like, want to open it, and I think it does matter for sure.
Yeah.
Not to say, like, we don't want to open up any Xbox, but, like, if you could, I don't know. Don't you want to open up a first edition pack?
No.
Why?
Well, yes, I do, because I want to try to get the Charizard.
Exactly.
But I don't mean to be like, I opened them when I was like, I just doesn't do it for me anymore. Mainly because of a box break you did at the Tampa Card Show, which ruined box breaks and base set for me. And
that ruined it for me too.
I would think I was at the table with Andy. He was watching. You guys took so long. Some of these box breaks that took place during COVID were milked to the degree there were 6 hours. I don't think I can watch another Rocket Pack being open. It was my favorite set when I was a kid.
That was base set.
I can't look at it anymore.
That ruined base set for me too. I will agree. Imagine I almost passed out on that stage. I couldn't believe it. I do box breaks in 40 minutes.
You ruined that was one of the low points of Pokemon for me. All the excitement was stripped out of the box and the set. So thank you.
I agree with you. How do you think I felt?
All right. So Lucky Pulled Card says an age-dependent thing. This is the question I asked that you disagree with me on. I think if you were to in 1999, EX might be nostalgia. If you might have started playing Pokemon with Emerald, you might have started playing Pokemon with Fire Red. Like, there are people that didn't start with Red Blue.
I'm trying to think of a comparison, but I can't think off the top of my head. I just feel like there's something that exists in anything. Why would you? I get it. Like, you're starting in the middle, but you're going to learn about the history.
Right, but you might not be nostalgia for it. The nostalgia of your youth might be the Emerald.
Fine.
It might be Rayquaza. It might not,
a good comparison right now. But you know what I'm saying? No matter what, you're going to know about it. You're going to learn about it. And
Of course, and that's what
because
I think.
the majority of the world finds that nostalgic, I feel like you might gravitate towards that being nostalgic too.
I agree with you that it's hard to get away from. And I actually don't know if I come down as one is better than the other, but it's hard to get away from the first. To me, first edition WotC is just everybody knows about it from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody has heard of the first edition Sam,
I think
and everybody claims their mom sold their first edition cards when they were a kid.
Yeah. My mom did. G said the art is a lot better in WotC. It had more of a drawn art style, where EX is more CGI to me. I could see that.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's the it's like the first iteration of the art, right? It's like those that when you think about the first exposure. I don't know. I think the art's better now. I think the art in freaking Chilling Reign's better than WotC, but that's just me.
You are a WotC hater.
No, I'm not. I just don't prescribe to the religion of it because I told you ruined it for me during that box break. I have plenty of WotC cards. I think they're great. I grew up with it. I have the binder.
Can I just say something? I was texting you during the box break. Get help, 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 help. I'm starving. Help, help. It's taking 8 hours. Help.
You can't quit a box break during the middle of a break.
I didn't.
You don't back out on your team.
I didn't.
All right. Here's a little fun debate. This is like not the most fair comparison. So we're gonna have.
Oh, you're not gonna.
We're gonna look at a card from WotC. We're gonna look at a card from the Ex Era, and we can look at it from an art perspective. To me, this one is like a pretty clear winner.
Really? So I know what everyone's gonna say. I'm gonna say the opposite.
You can see how many of these cards were graded. There's obviously a crap ton more of the WotC Dragonite, the debut, the fossil. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you like? Do you like both? Do you prefer
EX? This doesn't make the first ed fossil, and I know guys are gonna be so mad. Doesn't even make my top 5 Dragonite arts.
This is a hands down one of the most iconic arts in Pokemon.
I know. I put this in my story like a couple weeks ago because I put up what did I say? I was like, am I crazy for putting this as my favorite Dragonite artwork? What the heck was it? I forgot.
Dark Dragonite?
Did I put up Dark Dragonite? And everyone was like, oh, I was like, what are your top 5 Dragonite? I can't speak anymore. Dragonite artists, and everyone put this one. I was like, doesn't do it for me.
The background, the sitting, I mean, see, this is where the nostalgia of that shines. Like the card on the left is just, it is.
Here, sorry, I found it. This one.
That's a WotC card.
Obsessed. Like that art, I think that's one or two.
Put that here. I could have put Light Dragonite. Anyway, obviously enormous supply, iconic card. I think this is easy. I think it showcases the good things about WotC. So this one was more interesting. This one I actually had to check if some of this data was right when I pulled it. Here are 3 Espeon cards. One on the left is the debut. The 2 on the left, or the left and the center, are both WotC cards, right? We have late era WotC, and you can see how small the supply is on late era WotC, right? Only 419, not PSA 10s, total graded copies of the Aquapolis Hollow. And then you have Espeon EX, which has an almost identical amount of cards graded to the Aquapolis one. And then you have the debut. Now, if you look at the debut, there's about 3,000 copies graded, which is a lot less than Fossil WotC. So Neo, you can see the supply is a lot lower. This one was tough. I was shocked by the Aquapolis. I feel like that's really cheap, all things considered. I love the Aquapolis artwork.
I gotta agree.
I would rank the Aquapolis as my pick here, just based on the underlying data. Then go with the classic debut and the Espeon EX, which to me feels a little bit inflated, but it is hard to grade. I didn't put how many PSA 10s there are, but it's fairly tough.
I would have to say the Espeon EX is my favorite art-wise. And then I'm going the first edition Neo Discovery. and then I'm going the middle.
Hmm.
I don't know, the Espeon EX on the right though is like next level art to me.
Yeah, I think you can debate the art. It's very unique
Right.
GX card.
But based on that data, I mean,
I'm gonna be going to maybe buying one of those Aquapolis hollows. I feel like I just got to look more at the Aquapolis stuff.
total graded for that price, I don't know. That's kind of good, I feel like.
It's interesting. That late era, that sweet spot of like Neo and down is
Yeah. This one is a toughie.
it's fun to look at it. I mean, there were more Espeon
Yeah.
cards we could have included, but there you go. I obviously didn't include the Espeon Gold Star.
Can't.
It's just not fair.
It's just not fair.
Also, wasn't in a set.
True.
All right, so I pulled this, and I think this kind of wraps up. We'll look at some more data. These are the most graded sets of all time in Pokemon. Most graded sets of all time.
Base set, your favorite.
So base set and PSA's data is actually split out. So that's just unlimited. If you look, number 7 is Shadowless. And then first edition. So if you add them all together, we're tracking 600,000. That doesn't even
Holy crap.
look at the variants and things like that.
I can't believe Hidden Fates is second.
Hidden Fates is on the track to pass unlimited base.
Wow. That's very surprising.
What's that? Yeah. It's
like shocking.
Everyone sent their Hidden Fates. I think that is the absolute showcase for what people sent to PSA during the COVID.
Absolutely.
Boom. They sent their whole...
I wonder if people graded more cards in COVID than they did in their whole lives.
Yeah, I think it without question.
That's crazy.
We have some data on that.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, based on the conversation we had earlier, what do you see here, right? It's all early WotC. Fossil, Jungle, Base, Rocket.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And then you really don't see, and of course, base set 2, if you have base set 2, you could just throw in the trash. That's good use for those cards. And then you see the modern sets, right? So if you think Pokemon, the print runs probably for these modern sets are comparable to the boom of the beginning of Pokemon, if not more. So, it's just something to keep in mind when you're looking at cards, and you can just kind of visualize the print runs. No one knows exactly, but this is helpful to think about.
Yeah, it really is. Very interesting.
All right. So last but not least, and this has a lot more data on it, I tried to take some of the sets. What's that?
I said screenshot this. Not you.
Me?
No.
All right. So this has a lot going on, but it's actually not as complicated. So the prices here, and there's a lot of noise in this, so they're not exactly accurate, but they're directionally accurate, is what the PSA 10 master set. So if you had every card in PSA 10 in this set, what did it cost? So I took the price of COVID peak and the current price, so we can kind of look at some of the sets. It's not all the ones we talked about. And this is the price change. Okay. So I think this is fairly obvious based on the spikes. I mean, again, it's these first few WotC sets that spiked out of control when Logan Paul opened the box, right? Base, Jungle. I didn't put Rocket here. I just kind of picked and chose Gym, and then we have the cutoff into the lesser available sets, right? And the one that kind of actually has accrued value is Legendary Collection. I think the Firework reverse foils have been huge. That's like cards people slept on for a long time, and have just been driving the value of that.
It's funny how
it's really hard to grade Charizard in here.
A lot of the X sets are the same or better, whereas all the WotC are in the negative.
Yeah, I included Hidden Fates on here for fun with some of the data. So Emerald, I don't know if I buy that it's up this much. Like, it just wasn't graded that much. If you don't know about Emerald, it actually doesn't have a gold star. The cards in EX Emerald were from Japanese, not promotional, but not for play sets. So people playing the game were not in love with Emerald when it came out because it was hard to use the cards to play. So they were never really a set that people were much into. But it's probably directionally closer to 40 or 50%, but you can see that the EX sets have kind of picked up. That's on the back of the gold stars. Like if you look at some of these, it's like the Torchic gold star, things like that have just kind of went crazy. There's not as much sales data about the EX sets. So, these can move a little bit more, especially when you have some of those low pop cards come up. So, I don't know if this trend is going to continue. I wouldn't say that this is predictive of the future, but it's good to understand. And of course, I throw on Hidden Fates because, in the COVID peak, you could have bought the complete set of PSA 10 Ruby Sapphire for the same price the complete set of Hidden Fates. So
That's so crazy.
that would have been that's an interesting fork. So this is also the amount.
You gotta put up like a "Did you know" section one. Like that's actually crazy.
Which
Just
part?
stop and like appreciate that you could have bought that set for the same price. Doesn't it blow your mind?
Well, there's some things that look obvious, in hindsight.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't so obvious at the time. I mean, I don't know. I didn't do it, so I also didn't buy the Hidden Fate set, but I think it's something to consider. I mean, frankly, you could have gotten Holland Phantoms. I mean, there's a lot of things you could have done, but
yeah.
This column here is the total graded, and this is going to tell you a lot about the print runs of these things. And we could argue that, people didn't send in certain sets or whatever. There is some noise to it, but again, I believe it's directionally accurate in terms of these sets. It's like a little declining thing, right? It's like base. This is just Jungle First Edition, so if I had Jungle Unlimited here, it's going to look a lot like this. Then you look at the Neo sets, which to me are obviously really interesting. I only put the first edition, but they're pretty low, and more in line with the EX sets once you hit Neo. So that's interesting. Legendary Collection is big, but not as big as this stuff. Expedition Aquapolis Skyridge, bigger than Neo Rev and Neo Destiny First Ed, bigger than EX, but not like the other ones. Then when you get an EX, you're pretty much the same. I'd argue that these numbers will probably ultimately be very similar, but the print runs are a lot lower. They're a lot lower. They're just based on what people are submitting. And you can't say they're not submitting these cards because what I did here is took the total graded last year. Okay, you can see that people finally started sending in a lot of EX cards, right? If you look at the total submitted, half of all EX Ruby Sapphire cards were submitted in the last year. And you might say to me, that number is going to keep getting bigger. And these numbers are going to keep getting bigger. Well, there's one way to track it. And what I do, and there's a variety of ways you could do this. You could actually track how many cards were graded per week at PSA. There's some ways to pull the data. There's some other sites that track it. This is a good way to track pacing, right? It's like, because if you multiply the number graded by 4, that's 4 weeks in a month. And then by 12, you can guess at how many cards are going to get added to the population report this year. So this is obviously going to go up and down based on if there's a special. But again, it's going to be directionally accurate. Based on some of this pacing, you could see that there's a few things that I thought were interesting. One, we're still going to get hammered with a crap ton of base.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pacing like 130,000, but it's going to be a lot. What we're not getting a lot of anymore, and I'd argue that the population report is fairly flushed out because these boxes are expensive and a lot of these cards hit grading, is the Neo sets. Really low. There was only 26 cards graded Neo Discovery. I'm sure that fluctuates week to week, but that's a pretty low pacing on the year. It's actually below even all the EX sets, which are all somewhere around 52 or 80 to 120 cards, and then someone dumped a lot of Team Rocket returns. But the pacing isn't big. These numbers aren't going to go up that much. And, I'd argue that there's not a ton of this stuff that's just like sitting around. There's not a ton of it that's going to be opened because the boxes are so expensive. So that's a snapshot there. And I think that's the,
yeah,
that's it. That's the facts. Those are the facts of the eras. What do you think?
astonishing, some of the data, to be honest with you. You don't think about it, Lucky Paul said, I wonder if you compare Evolving Skies now to some of these, it would look like Hidden Fates did at COVID peak. That's interesting.
I'm not sure I understand.
Like, you're saying you're comparing Hidden Fates to, what did you compare it to? EX,
I compared it to
Ruby
like
Sapphire?
the
Or
print
something where
run.
you said, like, you could buy a complete set for the same price. I think he's saying, like, if you did that for Evolving Skies today,
Oh, I see. I see. I see.
would that have matched
I
up to
see.
anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I could look at Evolving Skies. Yeah, I mean, I think that
I think that is
the
actually a very interesting point. Sorry to cut you off, like for a whole another thing, because I'm interested now and want to do a deep dive into like those things, like in comparing them. Because sure, fine, you think about it, but like you don't actually take time to like
I do. I think
you
about it.
do like to take time to actually look into it or find out where the data is available, and it is actually very intriguing to compare these sets.
I mean, let's not fool ourselves, right? This isn't like Pokemon cards have no inherent value, but there's enough people that exist that want them that there is a market. So there is some data available that could help you make decisions. It's not prescriptive all the time, but it does really pique my interest to not be sleeping on some of these sets that are just kind of not the biggest in terms of like, let's say, print runs versus passing on getting involved right now in sets that are inflated, right? It's like, what is, and this is, I guess, Lucky's point exactly, right? Like, what is the hidden fates of now? Like, are we at peak Evolving Skies
Right.
prices? Are we going to look and see that there's 500,000 Evolving Skies
Right.
cards? It doesn't mean that the cards are worthless. It just means that there's probably a ceiling. And this is what you have to look at. I think people are obsessed with saying, this is going to go down to this. It's like, I always like to look at what is the price this card, what is the ceiling on this card, right? And the more copies there are of a card, the less chance it can grow, right? Because you have to have another buyer for that extra copy of the card. So the sweet spot is finding popular cards with lower supply. And that's a very simple thing, but it is a key to most of this stuff at the end of
Yeah.
the day. Because it's not like Neo Rev, and maybe I could just share my screen here too, is that it's not like it's the most esoteric set in the world, right? It's like it's not the biggest in terms of print run, and it's also has some mainstream aspects to it. I don't know. I'm gonna call this up so you can entertain the masses while I figure out how to find a good
It was
shot.
buying the Aquapolis Espeon.
We could look at Aquapolis. Let's look at Aquapolis.
Okay. Guys, we're almost at 3K, by the way, so make sure you like and subscribe. Please and thank you. Smash that subscribe button. And as we dwindle down for the night, if you guys want to rip any more packs, my heat's broken back here too, so I'm actually numb. Buy them now. Buy them now.
I don't know if you could see this.
Yep.
But this is Aquapolis, right? And this is not some like weird set, like some Diamond and Pearls thing you've seen like one time.
That's
We
so
have
beautiful.
Crystal, Lugia. We have a beautiful Umbreon. We have a beautiful Espeon. You have the Tyranitar. I mean,
They're really stunning.
like these are legit cards, and there's just so much less. And to me, like this is so interesting. Like when you lay all the numbers out, it's like I'm like I want to be here versus somewhere else. I'm not saying go buy one of these cards, but it's an interesting opportunity, at the very least, of some really classic Wotc era Pokemon. Yeah. So
absolutely. Perhaps we will do an even deeper dive on this then.
What would the deeper dive be?
My deeper dive is no, we did. I did pull a bunch of good stuff, but yes, the heat's broken. Sorry, my deeper dive would be, like I said, comparing the sets. I want to do a deeper dive on comparing sets that you typically wouldn't like think to compare. I would never think to compare Hidden Fates to Ruby Sapphire. Sorry, I just wouldn't. That's like
it's impossible to compare on some metrics, but if you look at it with all the thing there, you go, huh, do I want to be in Hidden Fates or do I want to be in Ruby Sapphire? But I will tell you this, it's a lot easier to sell Hidden Fates cards than it is to sell Ruby Sapphire cards.
You're right. That's kind of crazy.
because everybody loves Hidden Fates, which is why the print run is so high. So it's a double-edged sword. Print run's high because people really like it.
Yeah. I will
People
say,
don't go to sleep at night and say, "God, I love Ruby Sapphire." Like,
some people do.
who?
I don't know who specifically. I'll find someone. Those diamond and pearl collectors.
Yeah, that's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Is Evolving Skies booster box a good purchase then, or do you guys think it's inflated? We've talked so much about Evolving Skies. You're tapped out on that?
No, I could talk about it. I mean, you tell me. What do you think?
I forgot what we said the over under was going to be for the new year, but I think we're still. Are we over 300?
Are you? Oh, the price now is over 300. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember if we have. I think I said over. I don't think it's inflated. I think it's extremely popular and like it's.
Yeah, I think it's reflective of the demand, but again, like there's all these like phantom discussions about a reprint. Short term, could it go down? Absolutely. There's way more reason for it to go down.
It's always going to be like, think about it. What I just said. We talk about it every single stream. It is like the most popular set. I think the price is like perfectly rated. It's not overrated. It's not underrated. It's perfectly rated.
I think, yeah, there's the cop-out answer. In 10 years will be worth more. Of course, I think yes. In how much more? That's the tough question. And that's where the money, like, if it's worth $450 in 10 years, you took a huge L holding that box. If it's worth $1,500, then you're very happy.
There you go.
But in the next 6 months, there's a lot more reason for it to go down than go up.
There you go.
So I'm more than happy to wait.
Yeah. I like that answer. Nostalgia for people who came into the hobby in the COVID peak. Will that be Hidden Fates?
Yeah, I'm not slagging on Hidden Fates. I think it's so strong. Like, so the sealed stuff is so strong, so fun to open. I enjoy opening it. It doesn't mean, but you have to look at the ceiling on the cards. That's that discussion. There's so many of every one of those cards out there. There's a point in which there's no chance it's going above certain price points because the sheer volume of the card.
Yeah. But again, is it like the most loved set from that year?
From maybe in the top 5 Pokemon sets of all time, you could argue.
Of all time? Holy crap. Wouldn't be for me, but...
Really?
Yeah.
I'm realistic. I don't put sets that I don't open in my top 5.
Okay, fine. So Team Rocket Returns doesn't make your top 5 list because you have an
gorgeous set I collected. So yeah, I guess it's in my top 5 sets. If I'm like, yeah, sure.
Next we'll do top 5 set.
I think Hidden Fates would crack my top 5 sets.
You have to open one of each pack.
Okay.
I'm gonna have expensive next week. Okay. All right. Where are you pulling your data? People want to know.
So some of it you could scrape from the PSA site, which is the hardest, but there is a website called Great Gemrate. Gemrate, is that?
I think that's it. Gemrate. Gemrate.com.
It's not a gem website. It's like a.
It's not a gem.
Gemrate. Gemrate.com has a ton of grading information. So gemrate.com and then tcgfish.com I use, and of course the collector app for raw cards, but for graded cards TCG Fish has a lot of data on the desktop app as well.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was just gonna do the wrap up.
That was a lot of heavy information. What's best when you have a lot of heavy information? You might want to just chill out, open some packs, tone it down, relaxation.
Okay. You want me to open a pack?
No, I'm saying it's an opportunity. We're going to make the presentation available on the website, as always. But packs are available if you want to open some. But I think that was a fun exercise.
Yeah, we love those presentations.
It's not. I don't think that I have a side on it, other than there's a lot of information out there that you can use to
Oh
make
yeah, we
a
never
decision.
talked about our sides.
What is your take after all that? Are you an EX person?
Yes, there's team up sleeved on the website. My take, I was like getting ready to say this, is that I'm not choosing. I'm a very much like a now girl. Like I like trendy things, so like the EX stuff, like I would pick that if I had to pick today rather than opening up a base set or a jungle or a fossil box. I would 100% open up a Deoxys box or a Team Rocket Returns box or something like that. But the nostalgia for me is still in like the early base set and the first edition stuff. It just is. No matter how bad that box break sucked, like it is a treat to open up a base set box or a base set pack.
Well, you've got to do it a few times now.
Yes.
Um,
One time, I can't win. I went so fast once that people went wild that I went too fast, and then I went for 4 hours.
Well, you go too fast when you open the cards. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but
Everybody on this panel knows that. You
fine.
go too fast, and you don't show the rare slot. Sometimes you stop at the reverse slot, and we've had that issue in sports as well.
In what?
In sports, you've done a few jump starts. What happens during breaks? Let me talk about the break. It wasn't of your speed, okay? It was the chatter, the mindless chatter about this error pack and this and that. It took 6 hours. It was. I'm maybe I'm exaggerating, but
it was 6 hours.
They closed. The show ended while you. I mean, it was.
I open packs like I'm opening up like at anything. I don't like
open them too fast. It's fine.
What?
You open them too fast.
Whatever.
If you're doing a high volume, if you're like opening 20, evolving skies packs, and you're just going, that's fine. That's fine.
You know what?
No,
you open some packs and we'll time you.
I'm slow.
Yeah, you're slow.
I don't proclaim to be an expert.
Good.
I do not proclaim to be an expert. I learn something every day because now I have like so many rabbit holes of data to look at with this stuff.
It is endless. There's endless information that we could provide here. So if you guys want anything specific, also like let us know. Drop your questions. Charizard UPC, I'm holding a crap ton of those. It's an absolutely incredible product. I only opened one, and none of the cards were gradable, so I just put the rest away.
Entering issues on the promos are pretty bad. Yeah, the Charizard UPC, it's like the easy answer isn't the Rudy answer is everything goes up, but the issue is how much does it go up and when? And can you afford to keep it sealed until it reaches a price you could sell? And do you have the infrastructure to sell it quickly and profitably and ship it and pack it and deal with buyers? Do you want sealed product in your life? It's like having a plant, okay? You got to monitor it. You got to watch it. You got to look at it. Got to protect it.
Okay. All right, guys. I think that'll do it. I'm freezing.
What do you mean you're freezing?
There's no heat back here. I'm literally shaking like a bug. I mean, like a leaf.
You're on a live podcast.
I know. Temperature still affects me.
That's true.
But yeah, since there's no more pack rips, anything ordered will be ripped on next Tuesday, and we're live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. And never be shy to send a DM or tag us and stuff and ask some questions. And next week we'll have another presentation, right?
We will. It takes a while to do it and style them.
Love them.
Maybe every other week.
Fine, every other week. Well, this one we'll definitely make available on our website, downeagletraining.com. If you guys missed any information, it'll all be up there. So thank you for your wonderful presentation.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys next week on the YouTube. I hate when you do that. It's so annoying. Next Tuesday Have a great week, everybody. Goodbye. Yes, trivia.